What's up, everybody? Today we are going to start finishing up the fabrication work on the E350 build. And that includes flooring, power module, the whole 9 yards. You'll get to see pretty much the finished product before I got to blow it all apart and get it ready for powder coat. So stay tuned. So let's recap where we came from. This van came to me with a pretty much bare interior, and it had plywood underneath the rubber flooring. And that was used to protect it from wheelchairs and whatnot, because this was a wheelchair accessible van. And it also had a lot of holes in the floor. So all that had to be dealt with before we could move forward with this step. And what I'm using right here is an automotive seam sealer. It is specifically for automotive weld joints or pinch welds that have to be completely sealed. So this gets sealed on the top side and the bottom side of the van prior to me moving forward doing anything else. So this van required quite a bit of work to the floor itself to get it repaired, all the holes in it, and get it to where I felt comfortable going to the next level, which is sound control. And that's what we're gonna start on now. With the sound control complete on the floor, we're going to move into lighting. And for this, I set up this Bosch green laser. It's self-leveling. And what I use it for is to give me a nice straight line on the headliner. As you can see here, it casts a nice green line on the headliner that you can see, and it hops over everything with no problem. And I can get it where I want it. And that is the point of using that laser. You just open the back doors, set it up on a straight surface, get it to where it's parallel to where you want it. And you see here, I'm setting the actual gap of the holes for the lights itself, and it works extremely well for that. Now, when you start drilling holes in the headliner, you can use a hole saw, but you have to run these things in reverse. So anybody that watches this and sees me do this, you run the hole saw backwards to make these holes. Otherwise, it'll rip the headliner. So now we are jumping right back to the floor of the van. And this is a marine grade plywood, sanded on one side, pretty much for these kind of applications. There's also another sound control mat that goes between that plywood and the mat that I had already rolled down earlier in this video. This gray material is the actual flooring for the van, and it's basically a commercial grade rubber flooring. And when I mean commercial grade, I'm pretty sure you could probably park forklifts on this thing and it wouldn't even put a dent in this flooring. Now we're jumping over to the actual aluminum door panels for this van. And these I spent quite a bit of time on because I wanted a very specific look to them. I wanted them to almost look kind of like a military grade panel when you install them. So this is the actual final program. We're doing a simulation in Fusion 360 before we cut the router loose and let her eat. With the door panels all done, the last piece of the puzzle is this aluminum bed frame. So I'm going to get this knocked out and then we'll jump over to the final reveal of all the parts. In the last video I posted, I built this aluminum enclosure that holds all of the electronics in the van, basically as a module that you could unbolt and bolt into another van. So now you're gonna see how it all kind of works together and what it all looks like before I tear it apart for everything to go to powder coat. I really like rolling chairs, but anyway, so all the fabrication work is complete. Lights are in, they've been tested. Now we are to the point this thing's got to be blown apart and everything's got to go to powder coat. So once it gets back from powder coat, final assembly begins. So definitely like and follow and all that stuff. I appreciate you guys watching.